Thank goodness. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to How Do I Help My Child or Support My Child series. It's been raining in Abuja. It's been raining from the early hours of the morning, even up to now. Our network is a bit shaky because of that, but hey, we are here. Welcome to this series. High grades and test scores are not the best test for where your child is academically. Yes, or they are not the only test that you use to fathom or to understand how well your child is doing academically. There is much more to your child's academic success than the grades that they have in school. My name is Marybeth Chima, and I am the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy and PTM Resources. And I always love to add that I am the proud matron of the Mastermind Circle, a peer mentorship and accountability group that we run for young children and preteens. The goal is to raise children who can lead themselves, who can take initiative, for themselves. We want to raise children who can self-direct. We want to raise children who can build their capacity, or we want to build their capacity so that the children can navigate the world on their own. And we believe strongly that the younger we start building this capacity, the better it is. That is why in the mastermind, we we're taking children from age 6. We even taking children if they're going to turn 7, okay, they're going to turn 6 by December. So we take 5-year-olds who are almost 6. Yes, we do take this group of children. Why? Because before the end of the year, they turn 6, or at the end of the year, they turn 6. And that's because a new cohort in the mastermind usually would begin in September. So today we're looking at how I can support my child academically to excel, whether they have a lesson teacher or they don't have a lesson teacher. How can I, as a parent, come in and support my child? What can I do to support my child? Now, if you have been following me or you know me, you would have heard me say this over and over again, that you are your child's first teacher, and very key to note, the most important teacher in their lives. I have told the stories many times how, as a classroom teacher, when I was actively in the classroom, my head of school had told me once, when a parent was being a bit overbearing, she said to me, calm down, Miss Marybeth, just be patient. This child is going to be with you for 1 year, and you can impact this child for 1 year. But this child is going to be with their parents for the rest of their lives. So you know something? Do not hesitate to do everything within your power to support or to help this child today, because you have the child for 1 year only. If there's anyone that should invest their time, their energy, and everything into this child, it is the parents who knows that this child is always going to be their child, okay? Whatever it is that this child turns out, to be, is going to affect them directly. All right. So why don't you, as a parent, why don't you as a teacher do all you can do for the child right now without even bothering about what the parent is doing or saying, or how overbearing the parent is right now? At the end of that conversation, I heard her loud and clear. But the part of me that heard her, it's the parents in me that heard her, not the teacher in me. Okay, the teacher in me also heard her, but the one that heard her the most was the parents in me. At that point, I told myself, this is what it is. I am the first and the most important teacher in my child's life. Everything that the teacher in school, lesson teacher for those who do lesson teachers, everything else that every other person is going to do or is going to be in the life of my child is going to be a support. So the school is a part of your parenting, right? The school is a part of your parenting, and it is just one of your support system. Yes, that's what the school is. The mentors who work with your children are part of your support system. Every other person who works with your child is part of your support system. You are the first and the most relevant teacher in your child's life. So, how can you be a teacher? How can you be the most important teacher? How can we be the most relevant teachers and we are not teaching? You see this? How can we be all that to this child and we are not teaching? And then need I add that it takes bonding and connecting with the person who is teaching for learning to be optimized. So as a parent, you already have that, right? It comes with being a parent. You know how we are as parents. We are usually, right? We're usually the ones who love our children to stupor. We're the ones who can leverage all of that relationship. Yes, you can leverage the relationship, the connection with your child that already exists, and use that to become the one who can actually teach them, right? And inspire them, teach them, influence them as a teacher. So, yes, as a parent, you are a teacher. And the earlier you know this and you commit to this responsibility, the better for you. Now, when I say that we are teachers, am I necessarily saying you need to turn your home into like a formal school? Not at all. What we are saying that is that there are things that you can do as a parent at home. There is a way you can structure things at home that will help you be effective, as a teacher to your child. And it's shocking, but this will go even deeper, right, than all the lesson teachers and all the teachers in school put together. If you know what to do and if you know how to get to the city, you don't want to be weary, dear parents. You want to know how to get to the city. And this is where we come in. We come in to show you ways, to teach you and to guide you on how to achieve this result that you and I as parents want, right? That in many cases we are not achieving because we do not know how to get to the city. So this series is it is a very short series. It is a series that we're going to be doing every day for just 20 minutes. Yes, 20 minutes, but we will come in here with hacks that you can use and begin to, move on your journey. But we all know that these little hacks here, these little tips here may not be enough. In fact, they are never enough. So I say to parents all the time, get yourself in a community where you will keep learning. Get yourself in a community where you will listen to other people's stories and other people's experiences. I tell you this, parenting is universal. Many of the problems or many of the challenges that you encounter in your parenting happen to be the same challenges that other people could be experiences. Yes, our dynamics are different, but in many cases, the same challenges pose themselves, whether you're a parent in Africa, Asia, or wherever. So you want to put yourself in a community where you can see, listen to other people's stories, listen to their experiences. Okay, sorry. The audio has no sound now. What's that? Can you hear me? Please, if you're here with me, let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Wow. Sorry, just give me a second. Let me do some housekeeping. Someone is saying the audio has no sound. Please, if you are here with me, you can see me and you can hear me. Let me know in the comment section that you can. Okay, I think you should be able to because I'm listening to my other device and I can hear myself. Okay, I think you should be able to because I'm listening. Okay. Sorry, if you're here, you can see me, you can hear me. It would do me. You'll be so helpful if you can indicate that you can see and hear me, so that we can move on. Um, it's a short session so that we don't waste any more time. All right, so I'm just going to assume that you can see me, and I'm just going to go on, okay? Because it looks like it's fine from my end. All right, thank you very much. If you can see me and you can hear me, then let's move on. All right, I think I've even lost my train of thoughts, but let's move on. All right, so I can't remember what I was saying before I went off, but hey, I'm sure I was talking about how you can support your child. All right, so yes, so I'm just going to go off. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what it was I was talking about before I go that interruption. So let's just jump in. All right. So I'm going to be sharing with you 4 things that you can do straight up as a parent to support your child to excel academically. And I'm going to be using, for this, I'm going to be using what I call the 4 Ps. Okay, so let's just use 4 Ps. I like to use acronyms in this series. Okay, we'll use acronyms, we'll use short forms, we'll use ways that can help us remember this, because this is supposed to be short, targeted, right? It's short, targeted to help you. I mean, and then of course help you remember. All right, so that's why we're going to be using this in this series. So yes, I was saying that you need to get yourself in a community. Yes, that's what I was talking about. It's important that we get ourselves in communities where we can, share notes and compare notes, right? Not compare as far who is better and all of that, but compare what it is that other people are going through, what they are doing, and see what it is that we can apply in our own dynamics with our children. Right. Apart from that, you also want to get your children into communities and systems where your children can have positive peer influences. Yes, where they can have positive peer influences, where they can actually inspire other children and be inspired, motivate other children and be motivated, where they can be in communities with like minds, children who share the same kind of values with them. Please, if you can hear me, I would like to hear in the comment section. If you just put that in the comment section that you can see and you can hear me, because someone complained about the audio. All right. Okay. So where you can have them in communities with like-minded children who share the same values. What happens to our children a lot of times when they are in school is, in school we don't get to pick the kind of people that our children are classmates with, or and all of that. So hi, Sarah, thank you very much for that. All right. So in school, you don't get to pick the kind of children that your children mingle with. You don't get to pick that. So in school, we have all kinds, we have all kinds of children from different backgrounds and all of that. And by virtue of being in the same space, our children are, of course, going to be friends with this, with all kinds of children in that space, right? Especially when they are very young and they have probably not learned how to pick their friends, and all of that. But we even encourage them to associate with people, to connect with people, okay, at a level. It's as they get older that they begin to understand, okay, where to place every kind of friend, right? Who is your inner circle of friends or closer friends, and who is just an acquaintance. But for your little children, your toddlers, they will make friends with all of these people. And whether we like it or not, their friends are going to influence them. Their friends will influence them in one way or the other. All right. And so in many cases, our children begin to believe and think that the kind of conversations they have with these friends, let's assume that they have friends that are always talking about cartoons, friends who are always talking about, things that are not empowering, right? Especially for your preteens and your teenagers, right? As they grow older. Now, your children think that this is all that young people like them talk about. They think that this is all that young people like them are about. But when you put them in communities where children are doing empowering things, communities where children are building themselves and children are understanding, how to get empowered and be empowered. The children are beginning to understand the place of impact and productivity and all of that. Now, when you put them in a community of resourceful people, your children begin to see that, oh, okay, it's possible to to do much more than I do, or to have conversations that are deeper and more productive than the ones that I have with my friends. So that is part of why you want to put them in communities. And we run an excellent one, the Mastermind Circle. It's such an amazing community, and I love the part I love most about the Mastermind is how social connection is a big thing for us in the Mastermind. The children have buddy groups, they know their buddies in their group, how we instill leadership skills in the children. We have tenured leaders, and then the leaders take charge of everything that happens in the group, pick those who do their presentations and all of that. So we basically create a solid foundation for the children in the Mastermind Circle. We introduce them to the various things that we would want to see in their lives. I like to say, introduce children to big things in small ways and help them practice this consistently. This is how you make them lifelong learners. And this is how you make them interested in things that are powerful. And of course, introduce these in fun ways. And that's what we do every day in our tools. We introduce these things in easy, fun ways that the children can relate to. So today, how can you help your child excel in school, whether or not they have lesson teacher and all of that? Number one, I said I'm going to be sharing the 4 P's with you. Number one, plan to be involved. Yes, dear parents, it doesn't matter how busy you are at work. It doesn't matter what it is that you do. It does not matter how many lesson teachers come. I did not come here to talk about whether lesson teachers are right or not. One day we're going to be talking about that topic. Okay, but for now, you have a lesson teacher, and of course, your child has a lesson teacher, and that is your support. All right, that's your support. There's nothing wrong with a support system. Okay, if we know, as I said, if we know the way to get to the city, you will get to the city in peace. All right, so yes, that's your support system, and that's the support system that you have. But you cannot remove yourself from supporting your child. Make plans to make sure that you are present, right? And you are involved in your child's life. You cannot parent a child in absentia. You cannot help your child or support your child in absentia. So as much as you have these other people sitting down there to make sure they're doing the right thing, sitting down there to make sure that they have done all of their homework and all of that, you want to come in and have conversations, even if it is for 10 or 15 minutes that you have in a day with your child. You want to have those conversations where you are talking about what your day is like. And this is how I love to do it. I don't want to jump right into asking the children the question, how was school today? That is such a bland question. Don't ask them how was school today, because usually you will get a monosyllabic question answer. Fine. And all of that. So you want to ask your children open-ended questions that will help you get into a conversation with them. Better still, you want to even be the one who invites them to speak to you, because you take the lead in the conversation. Oh, guess what I did today? Okay, so while you were in school, this happened and this happened. I had, a good time with my boss. We talked about something that I have been struggling with, and just one advice he gave me just opened up, my mind to understanding and, going ahead with the project. It was, oh, while you were away, I started writing this book, and hey, I did all my children. Guess what? I wrote 1,000 words this morning. Hey, you did, mommy? Yes, I did, and all of that. Hey, I'm done with chapter 2. Are you ready to proofread for me? Things like that. Now, you are excited, and you have invited the child by telling them what your day was like. Now, the moment you do this, and their fathers, you can do this too. There is nothing that says that only moms can be goofy. There's nothing that says that only moms can bring themselves to the point where they are laughing and, rolling with their children. Your children will not remember all the school fees. They won't remember all the things that you're doing today that is making you feel like you are the great dad or the best dad in the world. What they will remember are the times that you were silly with them. All they will remember are the times that you laughed and you road together. Okay, all the times that you played those games and listen to those conversations, and how you just said them. And of course, more than that, you are going to be teaching your children what to do when they become parents too. Let's not forget that. All right. This is why some of us are so stuck up right today. It's because the people who parented us didn't do any of these things. Many times, I see people, because we are learning and we're getting a lot of knowledge and insight into child psychology and how children, sorry, we're going to take a little more time today because we started slightly late, and then the challenges we had with the network when someone said they couldn't hear and all of that. So we're going to take a little more, maybe about 6 to 7 minutes more, right? Today it's supposed to be 20 minutes, but we're just going to stretch it maybe to 30 minutes because of that reason. All right. So as I was saying, okay, so it's not coming to their level. It's not something that is exclusive to moms. You can be all that. So when you see, a lot of times when you see, some of us who cannot bring ourselves to the level, where we are goofy with our children, where we can stay and be with our children, we can play with our children. Most times it's because we don't know, we weren't taught these things, we didn't see it happen. You cannot give what you don't have. All right, so that is it. But hey, these are now excuses. Now you know. Okay, now that you know better, now that you have stumbled on this session, now that you are here in this session, you know better, and you know that if you do not do something about this, you are going to be creating a pattern that will continue in your family where the children will not be there, or parents will not be there in that way to connect with their children. And I promise you, children who are close, connected with their parents, can goof with their parents and all of that, have a better life and better success recorded than children who are far from their parents. If you want to have your child's heart and your child's ears, why? How else would you do it without being close to them enough for them to see you as someone who will always be there, for them to see you as someone who is loving and friendly? Many times when we are just dutiful to our children, we teach them that the ultimate is duty. And so we have children who are dutiful towards us, but we don't have a say or a peek. We don't know nothing about their lives, right? We just see what they show us. But I'm sure you want much more than that in your relationship with your children. I don't know about you, but I definitely want to be a part of my children's life for today and always. So I want them to willingly pick their phone and say, you know something, mommy, let's do lunch. I want to tell you what I am going through. You know something, mommy, let's meet in the Bahamas this summer. I want to tell you all about work and all of that. Do you understand? So I don't know about you. I guess it is what our motivations are from what our goals and what we see, what we want from life. I guess that's it. So if you want the kind of things that I want, the kind of relationship that I want with my children, then dear parents, it is time to get to that place where your relationship with your children is light and fresh and goofy and honest, and you're modeling to them what you would want to see in them years from now. So yes, you have to make plans to be involved. Come, have those conversations, and all of that. Now, the more involved and the more interested you are in what your children are doing in school, the more your children get committed to their schoolwork. And this is especially for fathers. If you see children whose fathers are interested and involved in what they do in school, I promise you, they always excel, not necessarily because they are afraid, but more because they do not want to. They just want to do well because they know that you will be pleased with them for doing well. So make plans to be involved. All right. The other thing is prepare your environment. Okay, your environment is everything. The environment in which your child is growing and learning, especially in your home, is everything. So if your environment is prepared and your environment has enough stimulation in it, then it means that every activity in your home will stimulate the child. It is through stimulation that our children gain skills, right, that can help them navigate. All right. When our children are between 0 and 3, it is in their environment that they are learning everything that they need, right, for the skills that are crucial for their growth and development. For instance, your child is going to learn language in your environment. So if your environment is a language rich environment, then your child is going to be rich in their language. Okay. And that language also involves their emotions. So if your child is growing in an environment where adults speak kindly and, kindly to each other, your child is going to grow up speaking kindly to people. If your child is growing in an environment where people are calm and civil, your child is going to be calm and civil. If your child is growing in an environment where nastiness and sarcasm and yelling and shouting is the order of the day, there is no how. I'm not even joking. There is no magic. All right. Even if the child is not manifesting it today, because the child is supposed to be a quiet, introverted child, wait, it will show up at some point. At some point where they are probably bosses in their offices, at some point when they become wives, at some point when they become husbands, it will show up. Parenting is reflective. It's a matter of time. Your child is going to reflect who you were to them as a parent. So that's why these days I jokingly say to my friends, when my children want to get married, I won't even look at the person that is in front of me. I will send them, go and look at their father, go and listen to their mother, because the father, the mother is who you're going to live with in your home, because parenting is reflective. Full stop. All right. So you want to create that environment. So if your home is an environment, what do you want to see in your children? You want to see children who read books, then your home should have books around it. You want to have a solid library. Your children will see you interested in books. It means that, you are going to, of course, point them and model, this through the way the environment looks or the way the environment is prepped. We don't have time to go into details, right? And that's it. That's why this show is a short show. So we can't begin to tell you what to do with all of these things in this show. This is why you want to, commit more to your parenting. You want to get your children into the mastermind circle, especially if they are between 6 and 14. 5 and 6, 7 months, we can take them, and of course up to 14 years, because when they're with us in the mastermind, we are working with you every day for 360 the entire year. So yes, you will continue to have all of this in details, and all of that. Apart from that, you can belong to parenting communities. Following us here is huge. Following us here is huge. You get to hear, you see posts in the community and all of that. But even that isn't enough. Get yourself into a parenting community. Coach Wendy runs a vibrant one, her inner circle program. You can get into that. Send us a message if you want details and all of that. But your children need to be on their journey as much as you are on your own journey. And if they are between 6 and 14, then rush and come and take a slot in the mastermind circle so that your child can go on this journey with us from the 1st of September 2024. All right. So for young children, we say prep your environment. You have children that are between 0 and 3. Let the child wake up, or let the child come back home to a setting that you have placed somewhere in the play area, somewhere where the child can see. The child will find it. Okay. The child will be curious enough to find it. Okay. And when the child finds it, what you have done there, you have put an activity that will invite the child to play. You will see the child will free play, because the child will notice their environment. And that's the thing about when you have the right environment. The child becomes aware to their environment, becomes A person that is aware, in that environment, is aware of the situation around them, because you are intentional about how you're raising them. So the child will find, what you have set up. There are different amazing activities that you can set up that your children that would invite your child to play in that environment. Having pictures, lovely paintings in your home, that's a print-rich environment for your child. I've talked about language, I've talked about books, I've talked about paintings, I've talked about you deliberately creating or put in an activity, arrange an activity. For instance, you can have woods, and you can have some, you can go to a carpenter, right? See me, I'm trying to put everything into this short conversation, and it's about, the time is almost up. All right, you can have a carpenter create something for you that fits in different shapes, right? You fit in different triangle, squares, rectangle, and all of that, and then create the shapes. Just drop it somewhere there in the corner, all right? Just throw it there and then go your way. You find out your 0 to 3 year old will probably go in there, find it, and decide to start trying to fit them and all of that. When the child is doing that, the child is developing so many skills, the ability, the hand-to-eye coordination. Their attention span is being, expanded. The child is learning how to stay focused on a task and all of that. This free play is an amazing way to help your children develop executive functioning skill, just because you have the right environment where your child can learn even on their own. All right, number 3 is preserve their natural instincts. Yes, third P, preserve your child's natural instincts. A lot of us, our instincts were destroyed, and instincts were practically crushed and thrown out of the bush with the various "stop it, shitting, stop it, don't touch," and all of that. Kudos, shout out to the shouting parents. All right, some of us came from homes where our mothers have A1 in shouting. So before you even go near something, this is you, a curious child, trying to understand the environment. Your 1-year-old, your 2-year-old is trying to interact with the things in their environment. This is how they are going to understand their environment. This is how they are going to discover things for themselves. This is how they are going to try things and solve the problems that they have in their environment. This is how nature has created and prepped your child to survive. To thrive, not just survive. This is nature trying to help your child learn how to solve the problems in their environment on their own so that they can thrive. And now this is your child trying to understand that environment by trying out things in the environment. Your job is supposed to be to ensure that environment is safe, and then after that, allow the child explore in that environment. But what do? Don't touch it, don't go there, pick the child up, back him. He can't go outside, he can't go out to play. Everything is dangerous to us, and because of that, we kill their natural instincts that should help them, build that ability to learn naturally. All right, the fourth one is promote a love for learning. A lot of our children, actually, I started by saying that you have good grades doesn't necessarily mean that the child is excelling academically. If the child knows how to sit down and listen, if the child knows how to cram, if the child knows how to just take everything that the teacher is spewing, if the child practices that thing over and over again, the child will know it. It doesn't, know it enough to pour it out during an exam, especially if the end point or the end goal is exam. Okay, but what we want to do is we want to create an environment in our home and generally in our lives where our children love and enjoy reading. And this begins right from when they're very young. It starts with the little bedtime stories. Buy books, dear parents, buy books and read books to your children every day. Be the first one who introduces your child to the love of learning, reading, and all of that. So when you read storybooks to your child right from when they are little, basically you are helping them enjoy books as a thing. You are helping them appreciate prints. You are helping them appreciate prints. You are helping them appreciate books. Your children begin to take in book as part of their lives. So as they grow older, Books are not something that your children resent. Books are things that your children understand that they want to and they need to explore. So it starts with storybooks, and I promise you it can actually extend to other things. Now, as the kids grow older, you want to introduce encyclopedias. Encyclopedias are amazing because what is it? It's a lot of pictures also, but your children are not just listening or reading fiction stories. Now they are beginning to come in, they're beginning to see reality in pictures and in those books that they already love from storybooks. Now, with that, you see that your children are open to learning. Your children are open, to new things. They begin to learn about fishes. They learn about fish. They learn about plants. They learn about these things, and you see that your children are curious about life. The encyclopedia creates and offers those answers to all the hypotheses and all the questions that your children have at that age. So, of course, it has to be an age-appropriate encyclopedia. Remember, I didn't come here to come and tell you how to help your children have high grades. I came here to come and tell you how to help your children love to learn, enjoy learning, because this is how children actually do well academically when the foundation is set and the foundation is solid. Okay, so when you have a child who already loves and enjoys reading a book, you have a child who's whose natural instinct is preserved. The child is curious. The child loves to explore. The child knows how to create, knows how to solve the problems in their environment through interacting, and all of that. The child knows how to ask questions and look for answers for their questions. You have a child who already has a parent who is present and is there to share perspective with the child, and all of that. When you have this kind of child, of course, the child will ask questions easily because you are present to answer those questions. Okay, your child has environment. Every time your child finds himself in an environment, he's looking for how to, increase what they learn or what they know, rather, because right from home, your environment has always been rich, basically. Now, when you have this, then you have a child who is headed towards lifelong learning. And that is how you raise people who excel academically. So we're going to stop here today. We already took too much time because of the challenges that we have. I'll be with you again tomorrow when we come with another topic in this series. How do I help or support my child? If you got value from the session today, put it in the comment section. Ask us questions in the comment section, and we will be here to answer. If you'd like your child to be a part of the Mastermind Circle, go ahead. Your child should be a part of the Mastermind Circle. If you have children between 6 and 14, then in the comment section, you will get all the information that you need. Book a slot with just 5,000 Naira and pay from now to the end of August. First day of September, we roll. Okay, and we talked about books. Your children should read books, and we have lots and lots of resources for different ages of your kids. We have Young and Money Smart for 10-year-olds and above. We have Unlocking Excellence. Your child should have this. We want your children to be reflective. Start thinking and journaling. This is an amazing resource for that. This one is our bestseller. Bedtime Stories for Champions. We talked about bedtime stories. This one would teach your child to think outside the box. And then we have this amazing one for your children from 0 to 10-year-olds, right? Playtime Stories for Champions. We talked about playtime and setting up activities. And then Christmas Stories for Champions. It talks about how Christmas was like for us. It's not a religious book at all. It's a secular book anyone can read. And of course, our one and only parenting book, Mentor Parent. If you want any of these resources, just let us know in the comment section. You can also get it from our seller page or seller store. Just let us know in the comments, and we'll provide you with all the information that you need. Have a fantastic day, dear parents, and have a fantastic day, everyone, and see you tomorrow at 8:30. Bye.